Hey guys, it's me. This week is Thanksgiving, which is about family. So here is some family things. Meaning I asked my mom a bunch of questions from an article that says it will make us closer than ever. Um, Also, to be honest, we were cuddled up on the couch and our fake fireplace was roaring. So we are both very soft spoken. Just tired. Sorry if that bothers you. Anyway, I received some beautiful emails this past week. Thank you to those people. You know who you are. I'm going to respond so soon. It is crazy of me to beg for emails and then be bad at replying. I just really want to craft a perfect response. And working at a dog daycare during the holidays is like being enlisted in the war. So I've been a little busy. Anyway, I'm trying to make these intros way more short and to the point. Sorry, I ramble. Here's a look into my mother's insane life. And at one point, we kind of get into a fight, but it's not crazy. We're just kind of like debating and sharing some feelings and disagreeing on some things. I'm not, as of recording this intro, I'm not sure if I keep it in or not. I want to be real, but is that too real? Who can say, you know? We'll have to see. Can't decide. Haven't decided yet. Uh-oh. Impulsive. Okay, thanks for listening. Love you. Bye. Hi.
Hi, honey.
What's your name?
Jane Ellen Adler Dooley.
Stated Dooley.
I stated Dooley.
Even though you're divorced.
I'm divorced. I'm a divorcee.
Anyway, I'm reading from a HuffPost article called 38 Conversation Starting Questions to Ask Your Mom Right Now.
Oh.
Number 1, what's one of your earliest memories?
I think it was being at Disneyland at 5. Here's the true reason. I think I remember it. As you know, Grandma Honey was on Jeopardy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And so when Grandma was on Jeopardy,
Did she
got in second place, right? The episode she was on, where she came in second place, aired while we were in Florida at Disney. And so we were standing in some sort of pavilion to watch it, and it had cocktails and things or something. And so Grandpa and Grandma are watching it, probably Bill and Chris or whatever. And I was trying to get Pluto's attention. Now, Pluto is that big dog, right?
I'm familiar.
It wasn't Goofy. Maybe it was Goofy. It was Goofy or Pluto. But see, Goofy can speak. Pluto's not allowed to speak.
And that's messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both dogs. But you know how they have to stay like in character all the time? Like there's like a huge deal. You can't even get out of those uniforms.
Yeah.
So you can't break character. Now, Goofy could have spoken and been like, hey, little girl, you know. No, because
that was terrifying.
Well, here's the situation. Pluto couldn't speak to me, right?
Because he's a dog, a real dog.
So apparently I had wandered away from the parents and grown-ups watching the show. And I was enamored with Pluto, trying to get Pluto's attention. And apparently the height of a 5-year-old with a full swing of her arm over her head was right at crotch level.
So you hit Pluto in the nuts.
Over and over, apparently.
Over and over. Oh my God.
I was trying to get his attention.
Oh my God.
So I was banging on him, like hitting his leg. Not banging on him, hitting his leg. But see, to me, he was, you know, the beloved Pluto character.
Did he?
There weren't that many characters that
Did
we
he
got
tell
to
you
see
to
up close.
fuck off?
Well, no, then he grabbed me and took me back to my parents.
Oh my God. Okay, so...
And very thoroughly broke character and said, hey, lady, watch your kid.
Okay, so let me get
and
this
walked
straight.
away. So, of course, I'm like...
Sorry, no. Your earliest memory is you at Disney World or Disneyland.
Whichever one is in Florida.
Okay, you're at the Florida Disney, and you're your whole family is distracted standing in a pavilion at the amusement park watching one of the TVs because your mom is on Jeopardy at that very moment and you're bored, so you walk away. You find a guy dressed as Pluto, you hit him in the nuts repeatedly until he
trying to get his attention.
Until he breaks character and brings you back to your family. That's your earliest memory.
Yeah, it is.
What is wrong with you?
Now, I mean, you can see why that would be memorable.
Well, yeah. All right, we're going to move on. Number 2. What's the most trouble you've ever gotten in? I don't know if we can talk about it.
Wait.
Well, I
underage
imagine...
or overage?
Right, right.
Okay, we can't.
Right.
There are arrest records.
There are arrest records out there. You can find them if you're interested.
No, they've been sealed. I was a juvenile.
Yeah, well, there's probably some
and then there's something
from over 18. There's one. There's only one. Guys, come on. There's only one arrest record for my mom, all right?
I'm not proud of that.
Ooh.
It wasn't shoplifting, I'll just say that.
You have such a strong opinion against shoplifting when it's arguably the most okay crime.
It's not arguably the most okay crime.
That is unbelievable. You're a child. But you're like, do not steal a lip gloss from the Rite Aid. I'll call your mom.
You know, is being, an entrepreneur and capitalist.
I'm keeping this in.
Where stealing is just stealing. That's one of the commandments.
It's
and I'm not a huge
how different we are. We're incredibly different. Well, how old were you when you the first time you got drunk?
No, we're not going this way.
I can cut it out if you want. I'll bleep it if you want. I don't think that it's like a shameful thing. I think that it's impressive how much you have your life together now, considering the very young age I'm sure you're about to say.
It was, I'm trying to just, it had to be like.
That's pretty young. That is pretty young. But you were also a year younger than everyone in your grade. Because you started...
When I was 4.
You started kindergarten when you were 4.
We did, everybody,
I don't think everybody did that.
No, they didn't. But generationally, things.
No, it was much different. I know that.
Peaky Blinders, the kids are running around smoking cigarettes. And...
Yeah, well... That's like... That was like 100 years ago. We're talking about the mid-70s. Number 3, what was your relationship with your own parents like? Each of these questions is
horrible.
Setting up for specifically my mom to have the most upsetting answer.
Oh my God. Okay, well, how about this? Grandma Honey... I mean, I loved her to pieces. We know that.
Yeah. You guys had a fluctuating relationship.
Yes, it was.
That was at its very best in adulthood, which I think is good.
I do too. Yeah. And then, and certainly when I was an infant, I think, and she loved to dote on kids. So, up until...
I think that's a natural thing.
I think it was up until, 6 or 7. This week, exactly what Moxie does. Like, I was a happy child until 6.
Yeah.
7. And then the divorce came along.
Yeah. I remember that you were 6 when your parents got divorced because Moxie was 6.
It's almost identical.
And I was the same age as your brother.
It's crazy.
Chris, and Serena was like the same age as your brother Bill.
Yep. And then Grandma went through a rough patch.
Yeah.
And I did the same rough patch, and I resented her for it for a very long time. And she was strict with me. She was very strict with me.
Yeah. She was strict.
In a funny sort of way. I had no curfew, but then... Well, she just had reason to be strict. She knew.
Number 4. What is something you've always wanted to do but didn't? And why didn't you?
Well, that's really hard. I don't know. And all my life?
Something fun, not like...
No, I know. It's like, get a camper.
Yeah. I feel like you're gonna do that.
I feel, no, I'm getting like past that time. I don't want a motorhome. I would have liked to pop up or become boat people. Like I remember, you know, my relatives are boat people. Mm-hmm. And when I say boat people, I mean like outboard motor. Mm-hmm. The Mercury 800 outboard motor, lake kind of people. And then that's a huge investment. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of work. And I'm like, darn it, I want to be a boat person. I don't really want to know how to maintain the boat and have to put it out and bring it in and all that's involved with it. But yeah, I'd like to have been a boat person.
Okay.
More the camper than the boat.
Number 5, was there something your parents did when you were a kid that you swore you would never do?
Get a divorce.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately. I feel like you, like, in you talking about grandma being strict, you didn't necessarily, like, overcorrect and it caused, like, a bad thing. But, like, we had absolutely no rules. And I will say, I think that if we were breaking, if we were getting in trouble, rules would have come along. I don't think we like didn't care, but I never had a curfew.
No,
never. I've never been grounded. Mm-mm.
Your sister was a couple times.
Serena?
Mm-hmm. Just small,
like as a kid.
It's high school, like when she got caught. I forgot that she was like, yeah, you grounded me.
That's crazy.
But it was more like you can't, you just can't go out with your friends that weekend. You got to stay here.
Yeah.
Or you can't have the car.
Really a worry for me because I was actually busy grounding myself too much.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was just like one time and then I'm like, this is really dumb. I think I would like denied her allowance or something.
You guys weren't strict at all. And
you didn't give us a reason to be. You didn't come home sloppy drunk and that I found.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like you took on a very opposing parenting style based on how you grew up. And not just in like when we were teenagers and being strict versus not strict, but you've told me before about how it was very children are supposed to be seen, not heard, sending kids out there doing whatever they want, just be home for dinner. And also like even as babies, like they sleep in a crib and they cry it out until they stop crying. And
but what was equal parts that and equal parts everybody had chores, everybody, a lot of screaming, demanding things get done. And I wasn't thinking about like parenting style. I just didn't think I was going to be more, well, you guys, I was prepared to have horrible kids like myself. So, and you guys just weren't at all. So there was absolutely no reason to put things in place. What I knew I wasn't going to do is I wasn't going to be demanding of my partner.
Yeah.
And I think that's just me remembering my mom throwing ultimatums at my dad all the time.
Yeah.
So, and that I probably should have had a few ultimatums.
Yeah. I mean, I think that and not in your parenting or your relationship, but I think you might have overcorrected.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
In yourself, in that.
I told myself I was never going to need someone.
Yeah. And also that you were going to be whatever someone else needed. Yeah, and so then you became a little doormatty.
The thing is Grandma used to say that about me all the time, even when I was young. And I just didn't know what she was talking about.
Oh, I wish she was here because
I still don't have
her and I would chat about it.
She's like, you're such a people pleaser. Like she would be mad at me and I'm like, I'm sorry. you know, like,
I'm sorry, what did I do wrong? I'm sorry, I'll be better.
Because she was like, you're such a people pleaser. And I didn't understand. I still don't really understand it. But
well, we can get into that on another episode, maybe.
I did know.
But you've got one of the worst cases of it I've ever seen. In fact, it's fatal.
Okay. But then I did want to say, I very much vowed I was never going to need somebody. I didn't want to need anybody. I wanted a partner, but I wasn't going to. I definitely.
And that doesn't make you sad? Make you a little sad to say?
Okay. Now, see, some of that might have gone back to even being. That's why I said, like, sometimes, like, is that go back all the way to, like,
being adopted. And not having
attachment.
Yeah.
Issues. But I'm very proud. Like, I get very angry when people act like they don't want to take care of themselves and they play the victim. And I'm thinking about, like, in partnerships where they demand something from somebody else and they think they're entitled to it. And I'm like, no, you take care of yourself.
That's really interesting, considering your most recent quote unquote relationship.
Well, that was just a bad sociological experiment.
No,
I didn't need him. I didn't need him at all.
Then, okay, we're not going to get into this. Right. But then why would you let him in the house? Why would you do any of that then?
He wouldn't go away.
Okay.
Because I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah, but I feel like you're dodging a little bit of responsibility then.
Oh, no. I'm 100% responsible for that.
Anyway.
100% responsible.
6. Number 6.
Mm-hmm.
How many serious relationships were you in before you settled down? What were they like? I feel like if I know serious, it was just one.
Joe.
Yeah,
I guess.
Joe was just a long time.
Yeah, long distance relationship, but I dated other people.
Oh, we know.
Okay. But I mean, I dated people beyond the hookup, you know.
Yeah, I would.
Casey I would have considered Casey
a serious relationship. Yeah, I would too. I mean, we went and took care of her farm.
Yeah, and there was the Italian gentleman from here, Paul.
Remember, I'm gonna have to bleep that, but
who?
It's
okay, he's in Libertyville, or not Libertyville.
Okay, now you're giving his fucking
address. No, Paul was somebody I dated here in Chicago.
And what was wrong with him? Because there's something crazy about every person you've ever dated.
Well, I was kind of dating. Okay, never mind. We should move on.
No, say what you're gonna say.
Well, it was somebody I dated for a while, but it was like off and on because it was at the same time sort of dating.
Sure. Was he like in his 40s?
No. He was a little older than me, but like late 20s when I was in my early 20s.
Okay.
He was just this.
Was he married with children?
No.
Was he gay?
No. He was just sort of
Was he a drug dealer?
Thuggy? No, he wasn't a thuggy. He was a football player that was kind of just that.
Was he in the mafia? You said he's Italian.
No, but
okay, that's not convincing.
No, he wasn't.
I think he was in the mafia.
No, he wasn't. That was Kristen, the mafia guy.
Oh yeah, that was the other guy. Okay. Number 7, what was your hardest breakup like? If it's with Dad, then we don't have to get into that.
Yeah, no. These aren't happy questions.
Well,
aren't all breakups hard, kind of?
Sure. I wouldn't know personally.
I inadvertently set the house on fire after Joe.
That happened directly after.
Joe had come to Detroit and
you guys broke up.
We kind of broke up. And because I was like, do you want to pursue a relationship after this year is up? And he's like, I can't say yes. He couldn't say yes. He couldn't He didn't say no, but he's like, I can't say yes. And I'm like, well, the ball's in your court. And then he left and went home to Wisconsin, and I proceeded to get drunk and smoke cigarettes in my bedroom. And then the next day, when I had called in sick to work, I had lit a candle in my room to help clear the cigarette smoke. And then I went downstairs, and after a while, we're like, And then my room was burning upstairs. The alarms started going off, the smoke alarms.
Where did you live?
This is when I lived in Detroit in the Jesuit volunteer house.
Oh, so you burnt down a Jesuit?
Just my room.
Volunteer.
It was just my room. The candle caught the candle was too close to a bedside table lamp, and the shade caught on fire. And it was funny because the smoke alarm started going off, and then we ran upstairs, and then I remembered that I left the candle, and it was like out of that, like those after school safety shows where we went to the bedroom and we touched the doorknob because I had closed it because I was clearing the air and I had been smoking, and the doorknob was hot.
Oh no.
So it was like you touched the doorknob and it was like, he went, It was Jim was with me, and we're like, don't open the door, because that whole backdraft thing. You do not, if there's fire on the other side of the door, you don't want to open it.
You heard it here first, guys.
So you don't open the door. We knocked on the neighboring, one of my roommates was home in her room, so she didn't notice anything, but we got her out of there. Then we went down and called the fire department. And then I was on the phone talking to my work people. Well, the fire department took forever, and they're just down the street, but that's Detroit. The land of burnt out houses. And so they came in with a gigantic hose, and I'm like, I kind of think like a fire extinguisher might work, And anyways, they hauled this huge hose up, and as I'm downstairs calling somebody, telling them what had happened, I see my mattress, like it was wintertime, so I saw this all this burning stuff get thrown out the window.
Oh my God. On fire. So when I ask you what's your hardest breakup, your first answer was all breakups are hard. And then your second answer was, well, probably the breakup where I burnt down my house.
No, your dad was probably the worst breakup. We're not going to kid about that.
Okay.
But your first breakup is always hard. And I had dated Joe for a very long time. Let's just be honest.
Okay. Number 8, growing
up. I think
up.
I'm still in shock that your dad broke up with me. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 8, growing up. What did you think you were going to do for a living?
I thought I'd become a cop, maybe.
What?
Well, yeah, I had applied and almost gotten into the military academies.
Sometimes I'm like, I get nervous because, not nervous, I get just like, maybe a little like sad just because I feel like not like, I really don't mean to be rude, but you don't have like a bustling social life these days.
Because I'm an introvert.
You're an introvert and you work from home and you love your PBS Masterpiece Theater and you love staying in.
Yeah.
And not going out. And I'm like, it just makes me sad, like.
And then you hear I might have been a blue line.
No, but then you just, every time I talk to you about your past, some new huge life-changing lore is dropped. And I'm like, no, she's actually lived 1,000 lives. She's just relaxing now.
She's just tired.
So she's just tired. So it's actually probably really good for her.
Yeah. See, in high school, my friends were all going crazy. And by that time, I had gotten my crazies out. And
yeah, because you decided to be a partier when you were 12.
Yeah. So now I was a swimmer and a soccer player. And I was interested in potentially going to one of the military academies. And I really wanted to go to the Air Force Academy, but you have to have 20/20 vision. 20/40 to be a navigator, that was the worst. Otherwise, you couldn't go.
Damn.
So I was out of that one. So you have to get congressional appointment or representative appointment to get your application. And I got an alternate. I went through the application process and I got an alternate, which still would have had I got an alternate for West Point and Annapolis.
Oh my God.
So the Navy and the...
Oh my God.
So I got an alternate appointment, and as a woman at the time, they were trying to up those things. So
up their numbers of ladies.
And but you know what? I didn't go to the physical. I didn't do the physical test, the PE test that you had to go like report to a
boot camp.
Just sort of a recruiting station that they would have conducted. And I was getting ready to do that. And I was reading more about what it means to be a plebe, because I was kind of eyeing up the Naval Academy.
Sure.
More. And being a plebe, just what it meant. And I thought, God, no, that's really, really restrictive.
You are...
Like, you cannot leave. Like, what if I wanted to... I'm like, what if I want a snack at night? That's really what it came down to.
Oh.
Taylor, you can't.
Oh.
You can't keep any food in your room?
Sometimes I feel like I know you really well, and then sometimes it's the fact that you couldn't eat snacks whenever you wanted is the only thing that kept you from being a naval officer.
But think about it.
Our lives would be completely different.
Oh, 100%. But part of me was like, okay, I'm not really about that level of strictness. Like,
so then you were like, okay, I'll be a cop?
Well, because, it wouldn't be
oh my God.
as strict. But I didn't, then I went off and became a complete hippie.
God, the hippies.
I went
taking our good cops and our good troopers out.
I wasn't interested in being an EMT.
Sure.
I didn't actually know anybody in the military. We weren't in a military community. So I think if I did, I would be like, maybe I would have been like, oh no, this isn't right.
Right.
Come on, you can't keep any food in your room. Like, I was reading all the instructions for the first year students.
Okay, we need to get back to the cop thing.
I didn't become a cop.
Well, thank God. That's crazy. Number 9. Number 9 is, how have your notions of what it means to be a woman changed over your lifetime? Boring. Don't you dare. It's obviously cool and better now.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yes. You guys have educated me so much.
Yeah.
And in the very beginning with Serena, like, the transition is so slow. And I think that's one of the biggest blessings out of having both, the breadth, the stretch between Serena and Moxie.
The 10 years between them?
Yeah. Like, I think if my education had stopped with you.
Sure, like what I would be able to teach you.
Yes.
Versus then you get someone 6 years younger than me who also can help teach you.
So I learned a lot from Serena for sure, but by the time we got down to Moxie,
well, yeah, and
she's
Serena's
schooling me.
Serena's on the cusp, but I think she's kind of a millennial. And then I'm really on the cusp between the two, and then Moxie's solidly Gen Z. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the amount of technology changes and cultural shifts that have happened.
Yeah. Okay, 10 and 11 are if she worked, what was it like being a working mom? Or if she didn't work, what was it like being a stay-at-home mom? But I think that's kind of an annoying, boring questions.
I got to both.
True, you worked from home. Number 12, when did you lose your virginity and to whom?
I don't think that's appropriate for a podcast.
Is it older or younger than the first time you got drunk?
A little bit older.
Okay, I'll take it.
Or maybe the same weekend.
Oh no.
I will say there was drinking involved.
That doesn't make me feel good.
Well, that should just not surprise you.
No, it doesn't. Number 13. Who were / are your role models? Who did you look up to when you were younger? I feel like role models is kind of boring. Who were you really into, celebrity-wise, when you were younger?
Well, I never, I was never like I worked really hard to be alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Not, but in that era, it was more like when people were listening to the pop music at the time, I'm listening to Adam Ant, like
Sure.
the weird kind of, that would have been like 7th and 8th grade. Then in high school, it was a lot of Prince. But then,
Gay. I said gay.
What's wrong with Prince?
Nothing. What's wrong with being gay?
Nothing. We only had 2 people in the high school, apparently.
Then we agree.
Which I love. I think that's so funny about like the 40th and my 40th class reunions coming up. And I want to be like, when are we going to have like the breakdown of who all ended up being gay?
Everyone go on stage if you're gay now. You would get up there.
The 1 in 10, like out of the, and technically we only knew about 2. So in my class of 600. All right. Anyways, so I guess
the Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones. Yeah, like everybody else liked The Who. Mm-hmm.
And you were so different from
I had to always pick like when I was in junior high, when everybody loved Sean Cassidy from the Hardy Boy Mysteries, I had to love Parker Stevenson. I always had to pick the second guy.
Damn, that's
no. It's not that I had to. I wanted to.
No, I know. That's like being any of the girls in the whole world who are say they're not into Harry Styles, but they're into Niall.
Yeah, exactly. You want to pick this. Now, here's one thing that was nice about that. Out of the Teen Beat magazines, while they are fighting over the different pictures of Sean Cassidy
to hang up, I
had a boku load of Parker Stevenson, but I honestly thought Parker Stevenson was cuter.
Okay.
So I liked the Rolling Stones better than The Who. And I guess what was funny is that I was thinking when you said who were my role models, my first thought was how I liked Hunter S. Thompson.
Oh no. Mother.
Yes. So like in the Beatnik, so I started to like
no.
But Grandma caught me with that book and she got really upset. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That was quite an eye-opening book. So
oh God.
That and J.D. Salinger, and like suddenly I'm like,
oh no. Oh my God, no. We would have never been friends.
I wasn't like painfully.
No,
I wasn't like the person. Okay, maybe one summer I was that person that showed up at the bar with a book and read at the bar.
Oh, we have to move on.
But not for very long. I honestly did not do that for long.
We have to move on. This is already such a long recording, so I'm just gonna skip around.
You're welcome to.
Number 16. Have you ever had an abortion? Jesus Christ.
No.
One time I asked you if you had ever had a miscarriage, and I was expecting to have a very sort of delicate, vulnerable moment. And instead you went, no, I'm too fertile. Jesus.
Well, let's just talk about the fact that women can potentially like have little abortion, like little miscarriages all the time.
All the time and just not know. But no, I mean, you did.
Mine are very good about finding the right spot to go to.
Yeah, you're actually
latching on.
You joke about being too fertile, but you actually have the most proof out of anyone I know in that you get pregnant very easily, including after getting your tubes tied.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be like 100% effective.
Yeah, especially when the doctor went in to do it afterwards and was like, I don't know how the hell you got pregnant. Did the egg roll down through the gap and then get fertilized? Or did the sperm jump the gap? But see, then that would have been a twofer. I think the egg rolled down because that's what she wanted to test and make sure, because when she heard that I was testing positive for being pregnant, she made me go and get an emergency ultrasound because
ectopic.
She wanted to make sure it wasn't ectopic. And in my fallopian tube, which would require an immediate
removal.
So, but it wasn't there. It was in the right spot. So then it's like, that meant my egg had to have rolled down through, right? Because it couldn't have been that coordinated. It couldn't have been the sperm jumping and then the fertilized egg coming back down.
Girl boss, you know? It's the egg that did the hard work, not the sperm. Girl boss. Anyway.
I'm just going to say this. I don't think it's magical, and I don't necessarily think it's aliens.
Okay.
I would say, and not in a spiritual way, but I could see it being in the realm of like reincarnation.
I knew you were going to say that. You're in a reincarnation kick for the past couple of years.
But it's, because they talk about bloodlines kind of sticking together. So it's like, somebody's probably like, God damn, okay, you gotta go down. You gotta go down. So they just make it happen somehow.
Number 17, is there a moment or event that radically changed the way you saw the world? 9/11, perhaps? Or the Challenger explosion, perhaps? Or the moon landing?
No.
You were only 2 when they did that.
I'll tell you what it was.
What?
It would have been seeing Grandma Honey's aura / spirit / soul, whatever that was, when she died.
Oh, all right. You're gonna say that with your chest on the podcast? That you saw her spirit leave her body?
No.
When she died in our home office?
Did I not tell you this story?
No, obviously I know the story.
Oh, okay. No. It was just that the fact that I was in the basement, I think it's one thing if you were with the person, like you could maybe that seems very like evident that you could maybe see some sort of lightness or something leave. Mm-hmm. It was the fact that I was downstairs in the basement making calls to people to tell them, I had to take the next day off for the couple days, like trying to find backup and things like that. And I don't know if it was just right before or right after, but Chris was started all of a sudden out of nowhere. Chris starts shouting to me that I needed to come upstairs quick. And in my little office area there, it just swirled around. It was like a whitish green that swirled around in the room like 3-4 times, and then out towards the window and west.
So do you think it truly like altered you? I find it hard to believe that you didn't feel and see and think all of these things before that too.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think there was a time when, leading up to me dating Casey, because she was very eye-opening and teaching me about like alternative spiritual, like Wiccan and magic and things like that. And I appreciated that. I think that helped ease my anxiety a lot.
Yeah.
She also helped me then get hooked up with a psychiatrist. So I think that prior to that,
my witch girlfriend made me see a psychiatrist.
But I think that
she said, you need more than my coven can provide.
You need more than what a ruin book can
do for you.
Some smudging.
You actually, whoa, she said, whoa, this is way too, it's way too serious. You actually need to go see a medical doctor, babe.
But it's that, in my opinion, though, it's kind of also just if you are open and aware of the societal, just what's going on in the world, and but she taught me some tools and tricks.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was my first thought to answer the question.
Yeah. It's not a bad answer by any means.
No, I think it was just kind of discovering my spirituality then.
Sure.
And that was from dating her.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I really did believe that we were just sort of
worm food.
Yeah. Organic things that just died.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. I'm
nervous about this next one.
Mm-mm.
Number 19.
19.
Hey guys, this is the part where my mom and I got into a little bit of a fight, and it turns out I am not brave enough to post that on the internet. Sorry. Venmo me $5 and I will send the audio file to you over DMs. It was barely a fight, which is worse honestly. If we were screaming at each other, I would have kept it in because that's entertainment, baby. But it was just another round of the same fight we always get into. You guys have your own moms to fight with, so you can't have mine. Unless, of course, you Venmo me $5. Okay, bye.
All right, well, we'll finish with this question, number 30.
Ooh.
What do you want your funeral to be like?
Oh, that's easy.
You don't want a funeral.
I don't want one.
You want to be cremated, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's the cheapest legal way to do it. I don't think you can bury me in the backyard. If you could, I would say just bury me in the backyard.
Seriously? But what if we moved?
Well, that's just it. I mean, I don't think it's legal. Somebody digs up put a garage back there and there's like bones.
Yeah.
So, yeah, unfortunately, you have to pay to
dispose of a body. Cremate you. Where do you want your ashes?
I don't really care. You can take them with or... See, that's the weird thing I feel about with funerals. At a cemetery that nobody will go to.
Yeah.
And like grandma. Like, I'd rather have grandma with me on the shelf than at a cemetery that I'm never going to go to.
Yeah. No, I'd be happy to have you on my shelf.
So just divvy up in threes and...
Yeah.
Bring me to some family parties.
Sure.
No, I really don't care. And eventually just,
I think you're going to live a really long time.
Well, good. I don't, and as funerals go, I think you just do what you want to do. Like, sit around and tell funny stories and sad stories and angry stories. And
I'll play the pod episode.
It's like, oh my God, you guys, I recorded this with Mom right after she turned 57.
Yeah.
Well, then in that case, for posterity, I love all of you so much. And you've all made me so incredibly proud. And I'm sorry for what the future may bring in terms of my future dementia.
Stop, you don't have dementia.
And I really hope I don't. I'd rather just go with, I want to be like tragically where I'm just kind of weak.
Oh my God.
That's so much better. I'd rather just be lying there in bed and then holding your hands and then just being weak and fading away. I don't want anything dramatic. I don't want anything else.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't want anything that's sudden.
Okay.
That's just what I want.
Okay.
I wish. I definitely don't want any dementia, but I did tell Serena she has full permission if I get mean
to kill you.
Yeah, just either first of all cut down all my liquids to like where I'm in a slightly dehydrated state, right?
Okay.
And then just accidentally overdose me. Like each of you can just be like, just be like, I gave her morphine. I gave her pain pills at 1. I thought I gave her pain. Like each of you just give me some by accident, thinking the others hadn't. Oh, wait, we recorded this.
The insurance people are coming after us.
Hopefully by that time it'll be legal. I mean, we talked about this. Like you can get arrested for not putting a dog
down,
but you have to keep a mom if I'm mean. Also, if I've lost a lot of bodily functions and I'm not in a bed.
No, I don't think you have to worry about any of us, your daughters, being the type to be like, we're squeezing out every minute of life from you. Girl, if you're ready to go, we're going to help you go.
You know me, I'll let go right away. But
in fact, you told me when I was 13, maybe younger.
Uh-oh, what did I tell you?
One time you told me that if you what was it that you said? I don't know. You said something like this where you were like, if I get dementia or if I get or if I get like if I need 24/7 care. I need you to just take me out back and shoot me.
Well, the equivalent of that, but yeah.
Well, those were the words you used.
It's like a farm.
Not imprinted on my brain.
That's
for
like
sure.
a farm.
Yeah, like a horse.
See, you can't like commit suicide because then you can't get the life insurance.
Aw, nuts.
People
If I ask me why I'm this way, and it's because of you.
If I go on a water or a food strike, is that considered? If I'm just like, no, I can't eat, I'm not hungry, is that considered suicide if I like starve myself? Like that would ever happen.
We'll Google it. Well, this has been great. I feel like we started out so giggly and then we got in a fight and then we talked about you dying. So that's awesome.
I think you're wonderful.
All right.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
And all three of you each of you are so much better than me.
Okay.
As a human. And so together, you're remarkable. I feel like I wasn't, okay, this is what I do want to say. When people say like, oh, I'm blessed to be your mom, I get it. I kind of get it because I think it's more like, my job was just to like get you here on earth. And then it was like, and then just make sure you got to that self-care state. Mm-hmm. And then you're on your own. So it's like, I got to know all of you, but you're all such unique, different people. And I think maybe it's too from being adopted. Like I kind of thought that maybe there would be some sort of deeper connection with a birth child that I maybe didn't feel with my adopted family. Mm-hmm. And I did have that when you guys were infants. But then as you guys got older, and even as kids, I was like, no, it's kind of like we're all just, I can just so admire how individual you all are. And it's just very remarkable. Mm-hmm. And thank you for letting me be your mom, getting you here, and promise me the three of you will stick together.
Yeah, of course we will.
I'm happy because I don't feel like anybody's had big falling outs.
No, I don't think there's like anything that could separate the three of us.
I feel like that we would have had hints of that if that. Like I think I've seen hints of like the worst it could be. But I think the most incredible thing that you guys are ever gonna have is each other.
Serena and I talked on the phone the other day, and eventually we didn't have anything to say, and then we sat on the phone in silence for 15 minutes.
I love her. She's the one that does that all the time.
I like it too.
Yeah. And
No, not the best thing you ever gave me as a mother.
No, it's true.
You have given me
siblings.
So many amazing things, and I love you so deeply. But also the fact that you gave me siblings.
And
that
sisters.
I have siblings. And the fact that I'm a middle child. Like, everyone talks about, oh, middle child. I love being a middle child. I love having older and younger. Mm-hmm. I love that we're all girls.
Oh, I do too.
I love that we're all gay.
Yeah. And
we're city girls and we're suburb girls at the same time.
Yeah.
And we're probably not going to have kids.
Well, that makes me sad.
What's upsetting is the most likely option for having kids is me. And
okay, but wait, couldn't it be I'm envisioning some sort of weird Alice Hoffman novel.
Sure.
Where one of you decides to go to a sperm bank and get impregnated, and then the three of you raise this child.
Sort of practical magic.
Yeah.
Okay, for you, girl, sure.
All right. Okay, promise. Just promise you guys will love each other forever and be there for each other.
Yeah, of course.
All
okay,
right.
what do you want to say to the listeners, though?
Oh, well, you guys make sure that she does that, okay?
All right. And, okay, sure. Love you.
I love you too. I love you so much.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. I'm very thankful for you.
Whatever.
Love you. Bye.